Maybe I can help you.
I need an adult.
I am an adult.
好き勝手暴れやがって皆さんこっちに避難してください
It's time to do.
Remember to click like, subscribe, the bell notification, and whatever else YouTube has you clicking on to support us.
Ultraman Z!
What's up everyone, I'm the Kaiji no Kami from the Toku and Animation News Network, and today I'm taking a look at Ultraman Z! That Mill Creek had put out on Blu-ray. Z, not Zed. Although, I guess in some countries it would actually be Zed. Ultraman Z, the second series to be released in the Reiwa era, has become quite a notable Ultra show for several reasons. First off, and most tragically, it was the last series Kōta Fukihara wrote before passing away in May of 2020 due to a cerebral hemorrhage. Sadly, Fukihara had only been working in the industry for a little over a decade, and this was his first time being the head writer to an Ultraman series. He had previously worked with Z's director on a series called Rooming with a Gamer Gal. Given they worked so well together on that, Kiyotaka Taguchi immediately felt Fukihara would be the best choice to work with him on Ultraman Z. Next up, Z was the first Ultra show to stream internationally as it was airing in Japan, giving everyone access to it. Third, it is the first Ultra series since Ginga did not have a movie, which was due to Tsuburaya greenlighting Shin Ultraman. Additionally, Tsuburaya requested the show tie into both Ultraman 0 and Bailey in some form as the two characters were coming up on their 10th anniversary. Finally, in a stroke of luck, Tsuburaya had actually started production a couple of months earlier than normal in anticipation for the Summer Olympics that were to take place in Japan in 2020. So only a small portion of the series was halted by the time the pandemic ravaged the world. Lucky! Is Ultraman Z a grandstanding ovation for Fukihara? Watch to find out. The heroes. Unsurprisingly, this show's Ultraman merges his life with that of soldier Haruki Natsukawa. Haruki, played by Koshu Harano, starts off the show as a rookie pilot to a government defense organization called Storage. As with every Ultra series group, Storage is an acronym for Special Tactical Operations, Regimental, Airborne, and Ground Equipment. Their job is to defend Japan from monster attacks using a giant robot called Scavenger. The problem is, Scavenger is very primitive and has a short battery lifespan, which becomes an issue as attacks become more frequent and tougher. Haruki's father was a firefighter who lost his life during an early monster attack a decade earlier and decided he wanted to rescue people just like his father had. He's an optimistic individual, always following orders, and has a strong sense of right and wrong. Unfortunately, this cost him his life in the first battle against an invading threat from outer space, requiring him to merge with a new Ultraman named Z, who had made his way to the planet to be given the Ultra Resurrection Pill. Or in this case, an oversized dual disc that utilizes circular metals rather than cards.
申し訳ないが、お前は死んだ。
死んだ嘘だろ
ついでにどうやら、私もウルトラヤバいみたい。一つだけ手がある。私とお前が一つになれば、もう一度戦える。ウルトラマン鳥が最後に押すの。そこ。これか。
Zet is one of the Warriors of Light's newest recruits, so he too is a rookie, being trained by Zero. Zero and Zet begin the series above the Earth, fighting a new monster who has stolen metals containing the powers of other Ultramen. Zero gets sucked into a black hole while Zet crashes on Earth with the creature and meets Haruki. The two of them merge their souls into one, and with the help of a few metals, they become Ultraman Z Alpha Edge. I do like how Zet has his own distinct look when he is separated from Haruki, which is a nice change of pace from the last several shows. It tells us right from the start that Zet is his own person before transforming with Haruki. He does have several other forms, which include Beta Smash, Gamma Future,
Ultraman Z, Gamma Future,
and Delta Rise Claw.
Ultraman Z, Delta Rise Claw.
I think Gamma Future is my favorite because it utilizes Tiga, Dyna, and Gaia all in one as opposed to intermixing various eras the way others do.
Gamma Illusion,
Beta Smash reminds me too much of Zerth's design, and I am not a fan of that one. About halfway through, a weapon containing the soul of Belial crashes on Earth. I do like how Belial Rock will first ask its wielder what they want to use him for, which can occasionally provide some fun moments.
俺様を手にしてお前は何をする？
あいつは存在しちゃいけない宇宙の穴なんです。俺たちで協力して宇宙の穴を塞ぎましょう。
宇宙の穴か。面白い。切ってみるか。
どうせ口だけであいつを切ることなんかできないんでしょ。
話にならん。
ほら、そうやって逃げる。
くだらん。見ていろ。
そうかなくっちゃ。
お前の旅も面白そうだ。だが俺様はもっと面白そうな奴らの元に行く。あ？安心しろ。お前のことは黙っててやる。
At the same time, Belial Rock feels tacked on and out of place with the rest of the series. I do like that Zet can also fight human-sized. The remaining members of Storage include Haruki's commanding officer, Shota Hebukura, the scientist Yuka Ota, and pilot Yoko Nakashima. There is also a maintenance crew who are the ones in charge of building and maintaining Storage's mechs, led by an elderly man named Kojiro Inaba. Hebukura is played by Takaya Oyagi, who was previously seen in Ultraman Orb as Juggler's Juggler. Wait, Juggler's actors in this show? Coincidence? Nah. Early on, it is pretty much revealed that Hebukura is Juggler, who has decided to become a warrior of justice and uses this universe's Earth as his main base of operations.
この地球の防衛軍のロボット部隊、ストレイジの隊長だったりするんだよな。正義に目覚めたって言ったら信じるか？
That doesn't mean he will always play the side of goodness, as he tends to give himself a bit of fun by testing Haruki and Zet in battle.
久しぶりに血が騒ぐぜ。
He uses his own version of the metals to merge together various monsters of the past.
闇の力、お返しします。
I quite like the idea of having a commander who knows one of his soldiers is Ultraman and rolls with it while pretending to be ignorant of the situation. It also adds a layer to Hebukura as we already know who this character is, allowing the show to focus on the newcomers while keeping us guessing on the direction Juggler is going to take. Has he really reformed? Or is it all an act? Yuka is an extremely brilliant scientist, always trying to come up with new solutions to a problem and loves to collect the remains of a monster for study.
ネロンガーの解剖に行ってきまーす。
なんだこれ。
現場から採取したあの怪獣の表皮です。遺伝子情報から地球外生物と判明しました。
She has an obsession with wanting to dissect any being the team encounters, which gives us a fantastic moment with Hebukura.
仮面の宇宙人様、素敵。解剖したい。
Hikari Kuroki brings a load of delightful energy to Yuka that makes her a joy to watch whenever she is on screen. I will say though, she is the most underdeveloped of Storage's 5 major members, despite us getting great insight as to who she is.
ハルキ見なかった？そんなことよりこれ見てよ。オーパーツカも地球外物質。うわ。
On the other hand, there is Yoko, the more experienced pilot of Storage. She will often team up with Haruki on the battlefield after Storage is given the funding to add a second robot to their arsenal, Wyndham. Yoko seems to have a crush on older men, which can be a bit weird at times, especially when Haruki informs her of how old Z is.
Ultraman Z って何歳くらいなのかな。
5000歳っすよ。
5000歳か。
This sees Yoko striving to her best capabilities as she wants to do right by Zet in battle. She will often face off against other men in arm wrestling matches as she grew up being told to never marry a man weaker than her. So she uses these matches to determine a person's merit. She often re-challenges Haruki, secretly wanting him to beat her.
Ready, go! 戻りました。
Gojira fans may recognize actress Rima Matsuda as she recently appeared there as that version's Red Racer. Inaba is similar to Yuka in that he always puts 110% into his work and will always work late if it is needed to get the job done. He will often show up to work with a large tuna to share with his crewmates.
随分と賑やかみたいだな。これはそのマグロご賞味ください。
We do get to meet Inaba's daughter in one episode, who has been working on a project to train an oversized ape called M1.
M1 号に会っていかない？とってもいい子なの。
いいよ。
ね、ちょっとだけ。
いやいいよ。
ちょっとだけだから。いいって。いいです。
It is also here that we learn Inaba and his wife were divorced and they had moved to Canada. Inaba is played by Jun Hashizume. Hashizume previously played one of the main characters in Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla.
ほらほらほらほらほらほらそら残念それは俺の昼飯だ
About a third into the series, an alien menace had brought King Joe to Earth, which was defeated by Zet. As such, Inaba and his crew took the remains of the damaged King Joe and overhauled it into being Storage's third machine of defense.
King Joe,
King Joe, Storage Custom, Robot Mode.
Yoko started piloting King Joe, Haruki advanced to Wyndham, while Sevenger became a last resort machine. While Hebakura is the leader of Storage, they are still under the command of the government, with Saburo Kiriyama being their director.
怪我人がいなかったからよかったものの、お前たちは何かを壊さないと怪獣を倒せんのか。
Kiriyama is a short man who has to use a stepladder to give orders in front of a squadron.
今回の作戦において。作戦班整備班が総司令部命令に従わないという重大な事案が発生した。
He is very nervous and seems to suffer from stomach troubles whenever stressed.
話した方がいいんじゃないですか、栗山長官。
Actor Hisahiro Ogura has been a staple of Japanese television for many years, appearing in both Kamen Rider Wizard and Sky High. Besides Zero, Ace and Jeed also show up. Riku has a really hilarious moment as Juggler greets him.
やっぱり応答なしか。早く奴を見つけないとなのに。
久しぶり。
ジャグラーさんどうしてこの地球に
Riku has apparently lost his G-Riser and now requires his own dual disc to transform.
ライブユナイトアップウルトラマンギンガウルトラマン X ウルトラマンオーブ
Ginga X Ultraman Z Galaxy Rising.
Ace assists Zet when a terrible monster attacks the planet.
バーチカルギロチンウル
The monsters and aliens. Z has a combination of old monsters mixed with a couple of new ones. There's a pseudo-main villain and a parasitic creature called Celebro. At the start of the series, Celebro lands on Earth and takes over the body of some monster research center employee named Shinya Kiriyama. Celebro speaks with distorted vocals and copies Haruki's dual disc to create his own set of fusion monsters for storage to contend with.
Belial, Gomora, Red King.
消えてこれこれと
Skull Gomora.
This being is quite petty, as there is one episode where he is ticked off storage as having a party and crashes it by sending a Bolton into the base to disrupt their fun.
God, he's a bigger buzzkill than Buzz Killington.
Another new alien threat are the Barossa. Barossa are a family of space pirates who come to various planets wanting advanced weaponry. The first one to come to Earth is unable to speak as they don't have vocal cords and must use the body of others to communicate.
お前は誰だ?
下等動物の言語を話す生態は持ち合わせていない。この女の命が惜しければ、キングジョーを返せ。いやよ。少しでも力を入れると。こいつの頭は簡単に潰れる。
The next one who comes to Earth for revenge seems to have no issue speaking, so I'm not sure if they adapted or found some other way of talking.
やっと見つけたぜ。手間をかけさせやがって。小さくなれば見つからないと思ったか？俺も小さくなれいいだけのことよ。
It is also revealed that they were the ones who brought King Joe to Earth. Returning favorites include Pit, Red King, Gomora, Telesdan, Pagos, a few from Taiga and Rube, among others. The effects and music. Zet has some of the best effects of the franchise. The superimposing sequences are quite fluid, as you would never have known a monster really wasn't there if we weren't living in reality. There's a lot of great camera work going on with the fights. I love these bits that are taken from the inside of a building as a monster attacks. However, the creme de la creme of fighting is hands down this one right here. I love how the camera is set from the ground, and we are seeing the frantic people trying to run away from the fight. It's seamless, and again, looks quite realistic. I also gotta give a hand to Matsuda in one sequence where she starts mimicking Kayako from the Ju-on series. Sadly, her actual acting is not as fantastic as she can occasionally overact. Z is scored by Hijiri Anze. Anze has only orchestrated a handful of works on her own, with her most notable soundtrack belonging to Resident Evil Code Veronica. Her composition here fits the show fairly well, even if it isn't the most memorable Ultraman soundtrack to date.
"見えるものだけ信じるな」って教えただろ。
そんな隊長が。
極秘の命令です。
ちょっと待てよ。お前ら怪しすぎんだろ。
隊長いくらなんでもまずいっすよ。
Goshawa Kudasai, Ware no Na Wao is the pretty enjoyable opening theme to Z, and it is sung by the man behind the great openings for Aba Ranger and Boom Boomer, Masaki Endo. I like how energetic it is, and the first few seconds of it is pretty memorable. As always, there are two closing songs for each half of the series. The first is Connect the Truth by Nami Tamaki. Anime voice actor Tetsuku Hatanaka sings the second closing, titled Promise for the Future. Both are solid, albeit a tad forgettable. Still, the music itself to both songs is pleasing on the ears. Connect the Truth also makes me think of a song you would hear in a Gundam show, so that is a bonus. The episodes. Ultraman Z is a solid show for the most part. It's definitely a show that works better when you can binge a multitude of episodes in one sitting over watching it week by week. The reason for this is the main plot is few and far between episodes that it can get frustrating waiting for Celebro to actually do something. Binging it helps things move at a quicker pace, and you start to see how great the storytelling really is. It doesn't mean it isn't free from issues, however. For one thing, the characters have their plot armor up to the max, as they are never in any true danger. There is an event that occurs at the end of the series that I think would have been more impactful if a character died. Instead, it just seems quite unrealistic that they had survived. Plus, it would have been a noble sacrifice for the greater good. I do like that Zed and Haruki are both rookies and that they have to work together in order to be successful. However, by this point, I am tired of the main hero using the abilities of older Ultraman. It was a neat idea at first, but has been done to death by now. Celebro has a good mystery going around it that keeps the show engaging. I just wish more was done with it. I also wouldn't mind having a whole series revolving around the Barossa, as they seem like an interesting lot. The stuff that happens in the last arc really could have used a few more episodes to be fully fleshed out, as it seems a bit rushed. A few less filler stories might have helped. Then again, one of my favorite episodes is a totally filler-esque one, so it's not like the fillers are bad. With that in mind, my favorite episode comes down to a tie. The first one is episode 18, Re-Challenge from the year 2020, while the second option is A Warrior's Duty.
Duty?
Shut up. Re-Challenge is meant to be a sequel to the Ultra Q episode of a similar name. People are mysteriously disappearing, and Storage is tasked to investigate. Haruki comes across a suicidal woman who is being used by the cameraman to find its victims.
じゃあお願い、私を殺して。
はい。
もうすぐ大変なことが起きる。手遅れになる前にお願い。
半分は人間、半分はウルトラマン。私と同類だ。
It has some nice callbacks to the Ultra Q episode. Plus, the ending has a nice set piece. On the other hand, Griza has been my top favorite new generation monster, and seeing him return in the 15th episode was a delight. As with X, he poses a credible challenge as he continues to glitch in and out of existence as Zet and Jeed attempt to fight him. Even Juggler is rendered powerless. It takes Zed obtaining his Delta Rise Claws form to stand a chance against Griza. Both are downright amazing episodes, and as I said, picking one over the other is hard to do. Opposite that is my least favorite episode, which is the series' main clip show, I'll Feast on Medals. The problem with this episode is not from it being a clip show per se, rather, it's the end of a major story arc that deserved to be in a normal episode than a clip show. A few episodes prior to this one, Red King showed up and Haruki came to learn that Red King was only attacking to protect its unborn child. This threw Haruki into a slump of insecurity as he wasn't sure if he was making the right call by destroying monsters. It reminded him too much of his dad. His medals are eaten by Kanagana. In order to get them back, he has to tell the Kanagana about his encounters, as the stories cause the medals to be spat up. Recounting these events gets Haruki out of his mental decline, bringing an end to one of his most important arcs of character growth. Ending on a fart joke. The Blu-ray! Ultraman Z is similar to the other Mill Creek releases. You have a slipcase. Here's the front cover, spine, backside. Now it says it includes a card, but it does not actually include a card. Now you open up the case, and because it's only 3 discs, the discs are in trays that leave them stacked, which is kind of annoying because they have discs 2 and 3 stacked, although you could stack them here as well. But here are the discs, and then a booklet which has obviously the information on Zet, episode descriptions, and then monsters. Despite having 9 episodes crammed onto a disc, the video quality looks spectacular. Audio is immersive, includes both the original Japanese track along with the newly recorded English dub.
But even Ultraman Z struggled to defeat it. This won't be easy.
We can't rely on Lord Zed alone. We'll beat this foe ourselves.
But does killing monsters really count as defending peace? I mean, those 2 Red Kings were only defending their egg, and Raiden was... was experiments
And what if that egg hatches?
The dub is a mix between LA and Texas voice actors, with a couple of recognizable ones being Patrick Seitz as Baleo Rock.
If you would mean to wield me, tell me this. Once you take hold of me, what will you do?
Fair question.
And Sean Schimmel voicing Zero.
I managed to use the power of Shining to reverse time. That's what allowed me to escape the wormhole. Though Shining rapidly depletes my energy, so it took me forever to get here.
The subtitles are the same as they were on YouTube, with little to no errors. All episode previews are subbed accurately. I did experience an audio dropout in episode 3.
どういうことだこれは。
落ち着いてください。春樹がセブンナーが対応してくれます。落ち着いてください。
What the hell?
Finally, the 3 special episodes are included on the final disc as a bonus feature.
するならスピード型と言えるのがウィンダムだ。ベリアル因子が針と混ざったことで意志を持った新たな存在が生まれたらしい。その名もベリアロク。
俺様は切りたい時に切りたい。
Zet was a really enjoyable series despite the narrative hiccups. The cast is all lovable, even if their character shields are turned up to the max. Still, with those issues in mind, I am going to give Ultraman Z a nice 4 out of 5 grown-ups in spandex. It's a good starting point for newcomers to get immersed into the lore of Ultraman without being bogged down by so much history. I highly recommend it to everyone. Until next time, bye!
仮面の宇宙人様素敵解剖したい